Another former number one, Lindsay Davenport. Close to the baseline, racket up high, use her opposite hand to set the racket. Racket face closes, gets way below the ball. Swing is so vertical that the racket comes up over her shoulder. That's certainly an indication that her arm is relaxed and she's generating racket hit speed. Close to the baseline, organizes her feet. And again, just circular swing for circular spin. Great high finish. Look at that follow through. And she's way up here, the wrist is fixed. It's like she's shaking hands with a giant, just like a little kid drop hitting balls. Tatiana Gullivan, world-class player, close to the baseline. A little bit of a hammer grip. She could spread her index finger. Great how the racket's centered. Short backswing, racket face closes. What a high finish. Finish is very similar to Davenport's. Both hands on the racket, short compact swing, racket face is tilted down. And again, she's hand to hand on the follow through. Watch one more. Remember, very often the left hand's the culprit. So goes the body, so goes the racket. But overall, very good swing. Fernando Gonzalez. Now let's show you one part of his swing. It looks like a young kid where we're teaching to hit off a cone. He's got a big step, three-point landing, racket faces closed, right in here. Now, mom and dad, when your children are watching great players like this play, they cannot see this part of it. So let's look at the stroke in slow motion. Racket face is vertical to hit, but now when he finishes, and the ball's long gone, and he lets the wrist roll, and he has this individual recovery, that's many times what players will copy. They copy the wrong things. But when it comes right down to the meat of the forehand, the bread and butter, he had the racket face closed, he had a big step out, he had the three-point landing. Tommy Haas, backhand approach shot. Taking off from a little too far back, it's going cross court from the perimeter of the court, but he took speed off the shot with underspin. He's following the direction of the ball. Comes in, organizes his feet. Closes for a backhand volley. So it's a combination. Approach shot's the money shot, the volley's the cash-in shot. Stays sideways. Let's look at it again. Tommy Haas, starting off in the red zone, he can do that. He's Tommy Haas. So we have to wait for the yellow zone. He's way to the outside of the court. We have to really honor the short ball range. Remember, these are world-class athletes. But he closes in, he gets GVP. We call it good volley position. It's really ideal volley position when he gets right on top of the net. By approaching cross court, it makes it very difficult for his opponent to pass down the line because the ball's coming in on a diagonal. Keeps his head still, stays sideways. Now remember, when you see the racket after the hit, it's called racket displacement. It's so important to realize that the ball's only on the strings 3 to 6 milliseconds. So just about every time we're seeing what happened, not at the impact point, but after the impact point. Tommy Haas, beautiful backhand. Look how that left elbow's up. Gets the right arm straight. Body rotation. Swings with his arm from his shoulder. And the players aren't always off their front foot. But he lifts. And again, he relaxes his swing from the elbow. Let's look at another backhand. Racket faces vertical, goes way, way up. The more you swing up, the more the ball spins down. And the alignment of his arms, hand-to-hand forms a line. The checkpoints are there. Hanchikova on the backhand side. Nice fluid movement. Racket gets below the ball, head still. Long, long hitting zone. Remember, the follow-through is the end product of the stroke. So goes the backswing, so goes the rest of the swing. She has the downswing, so she has the upswing. Like a kid going to the park, riding a swing set. Sets the swing through shoulder rotation. Slightly delayed backswing. Does eventually straighten out her right arm. Great forward step. Racket face closed, way below the ball. Doesn't mean that every time you lift, but certainly in a ground stroke exchange, if you stay down, if you don't get the lift prior to the impact point, it's going to translate into not getting the revolutions per second. You won't get as much topspin. You won't get the increased trajectory. You won't get the depth. You won't get the speed of shot. She unweights herself with the split step, unit turn, high-low, high swing. Hands go way below the ball and then up. And once again, she's not wristy. Relaxes the swing from the elbows. Justine Henin. Racket's up high. The body's up, the racket's up. The body and racket are in sync. Racket faces down, goes way out away from her body, blocks out the left side. It has a very high follow-through before the racket comes off to the side. You can tell all these players have done their leg work. They're so strong. Now, most players don't get the racket below the ball. Now, she's not recruiting muscles. Arms relaxed. You can just let the racket free fall. Because the racket face is closed, she can just really use gravity and let the racket fall below the ball. She goes way out away from her body, eyes at the hit, and a high finish. Now let's let this run with sound and footwork, footwork, footwork. Of course, you're going to have to run a country mile because he's so far behind the baseline. But all you little guys, you can become great players. Now watch how quick he is. You have to train and train and train to be able to move like this.